Hi, thanks for taking a few minutes here with us to learn more about Canyon home buyers and how we may be able to help you with your housing situation. So I'm not going to go into details here. You can pause this and read through this. But I guess the main point of this section here is we have the experience. We've been doing this a long time. We've worked in many different markets. We've seen many trends, and we're still here. So we do have the experience it takes to get you from start to finish through this process. We have a whole team of people we work with, from attorneys to lenders. We have contractors, marketing companies, credit repair companies, really everybody we would need to get you from point A to point B in the process of selling your home. So what we do is we work with sellers who really just need to get this thing done now. They don't have the patience or the time, usually, to list it with a traditional real estate agent or company. We're able to come in, buy your house in as little as a week, or we can stretch it out for as long as you possibly need it. It isn't our timetable, it's your table, and that's what we're here to help you with. So during the traditional sales process here in Phoenix, you're typically looking at 3 to 6 months on average to sell your home. The closing, from the time you receive an offer, it's usually taking about 6 weeks for the loan to close. So you're going to tack that time on to the end of that. The average sales price is about 96% of what you list the home for, because you're usually going to give a discount and negotiate back and forth. Your average commission here in Phoenix is 6% for the realtor. Ironically, in Tennessee, it's 7%, and that's just the way it is. You're always going to pay at least 2% of the purchase price for your own closing costs, between paying your title insurance and things along these lines. And then additionally, you're going to be asked to pay for the seller's closing costs. That can often range between 2 and 3% of the actual purchase price. Then on top of that, you're also going to end up paying your maintenance on the home, additional monthly mortgage payments if you're not living in the house. You're going to have to make repairs to the home when the seller comes through and gets their home inspector and they pick the house apart. Those can range anywhere. Homes that I've sold, we've had to pay upwards of $10,000 for have little things that need to be repaired. So all of these things can add up. With ours, none of this matters. Let me kind of walk you through an example here in the Phoenix area. Let's keep the purchase price an even $200,000 just to make the numbers easier. The sale price of the home, you're going to be giving a 4% discount, dropping down to $192 off of your $200,000 sale price. Most people would agree that's pretty realistic there. Then you're going to pay your 6% sales commission on top of that. You're going to pay your own closing cost of about $4,000. You're also going to typically pay the buyer's closing costs, a portion of them. Let's call that $4,000. Then you have other miscellaneous expenses, which can be items such as buying a home warranty for the seller, or making the repairs that their inspector has found that you need to get done to the home. And we haven't even factored into this holding costs. Most people we talk to have already moved out of the house. If this is your case, you're making double payments right now. If this process stretched out for 3, 6 months, and your monthly payments $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,800, whatever it might be, you can do the math. That can add up pretty quickly. So the average here in the Phoenix area, you're giving away about 15% of the equity in your home if you list it and sell it through a realtor. And unless you're offering it at a really, really discounted price, you're not selling it in 30 days. And even if you did sell it day one, you're still waiting 6 weeks for the buyer to get their loan. Ours is much different. We can come in and we can buy this home from you in just a couple of days if needed. We can make this fit your situation. We'll buy the house as is. We'll give you a fair price, and I'll show you how the formula works here in a second. We can work around your schedule. If you need to move out in 3 months, we can do that in 3 months. It's completely up to you. We both have to be totally satisfied with this situation, or it doesn't work for either of us. So we offer you 3 different options. Now, most of the people who talk to other We Buy Ugly Houses guys, what they're going to do is they're going to come in, they're going to give you one lowball offer that typically ranges between 60 and 70% of the value of your home. If you're desperate and you need to get rid of it today, that may work for you. Maybe you don't have 30% equity to give away in your home. Maybe you're still upside down and you have to sell it. their options will not work. What we do is we give you 3 different choices to work with. We'll give you an all cash option, just like they do, but much higher. We will also do what's called a guaranteed lease purchase, or we will provide you a tenant buyer option. And I'll walk through what each of these are in a second. But please keep in mind, nobody will be able to beat the offer we make you. Nobody. If you do find somebody who comes to you and gives you a higher offer than anything we're going to show you, we'll match it and beat it by $5,000 blindfolded. They cannot come close to anything we offer because we don't work like these other wholesalers. We don't turn around and flip this property to another end buyer. We are the end buyer. So there is no middleman wholesaler in this process. These we buy ugly houses guys, they don't buy your home. They don't keep your home. They get it under contract. They assign that contract to another investor. That's the way they work. So let's walk you through this real quickly. If you needed a cash sale, you're done. You don't want to deal with this anymore. You need cash now. You have equity in the property. We can close in a week or two, whatever meets your needs. We pay all the closing costs. So whatever the number is we give you, that's going to be your net profit right there. We also can get you roughly the same equity you had gotten had you sold it with the realtor. That's not going to be the case with anybody else you talk to. I can promise you if you have not already found that out yourself. The second option is one that's becoming very popular with a lot of our sellers. We call it the guaranteed lease purchase. This is for people who have equity in their home. They don't want to give it all away, but they do need to sell it, but they don't have to sell it this very second. So here's how this process works. We will step in and we, Canyon Home Buyers, will sign a lease with you to be your tenant in the property. Now, obviously, I'm not going to move into your house. What I do is I will reassign that lease to one of our tenant buyers. We have a database that runs anywhere from 150 to 200 people or families here in the Phoenix area who are looking for a house on a rent-to-own basis. During that time, you will never deal with our client. We will be your tenant. We will be the only ones you'll ever need to talk to. With that, we guarantee all the payments. We guarantee all the maintenance on the property as well. So worst case scenario would be if our tenant buyers moved out after 3 months, we will still make the monthly payment to you while we replace that tenant buyer. We made the mistake of placing them in the property. You're not going to be the one to suffer. So you will have no vacancy in this property. What we do is we take our tenant buyers, we require a 3.5% down payment upfront from them that goes towards the purchase price of their home, helps them to qualify for that FHA mortgage. We also put them into their credit repair program that we have set up to get them cleaned up in an average of 6 to 9 months. Once they obtain that permanent FHA loan, they pay you off, we take our profit, they get the house, everyone wins. With this guaranteed lease purchase program, you will make more equity than if you would have sold it with the realtor. The catch is you're going to have to wait between 6 and 9 months to get this, but you're going to have to wait between 3 and 6 months anyway with the realtor. If you don't have to have the money today, this option makes a lot of sense and most likely will fit your needs depending on how quickly you need to get that cash. The third option is for the seller who is not in a huge hurry and for the seller who wants to maximize their equity in the property. What we will do in this situation is we will provide you the tenant buyer for this home. Everything else works the same. We'll still put them into our credit repair program. We'll still take care of all the paperwork as we would normally, but instead you are now the property manager. We remove ourselves from the transaction. In essence, we're almost working as a real estate agent for you. We'll provide you the qualified tenant buyer who will provide the down payment for the home, who will then make all the monthly payments, who will then make all the maintenance payments as well. You will have no maintenance on this house. With that, they're still going to get themselves ready to go in 6 to 9 months. They will cash you out. The difference here is you're taking on the responsibility of being the landlord here, so therefore you should take on the full profit. If your home is worth $200,000, we already have established you're not going to sell it for $200,000. You're going to walk away with more like $185,000. With our tenant buyer option, where we provide you the tenant buyer, instead you're going to sell the house for about $205,000 to $207,000 above market value. just because you can. Then the tenant buyer makes the payments to you, they get their loan, they cash you out, you'll walk away with full asking price without paying any closing costs. If you're willing to wait and you're willing to manage the property yourself, you can maximize every penny of equity in your property by using our tenant buyer option. So with this, we put you in complete control of determining which one of these options works best for you. It's not what works best for us, it's what works best for you. So you can pause the slide and kind of take a look at it, and you can see our process here. We really work two different sides. We purchase the homes, we sell them to our tenant buyers. So in summary here, we can do this as fast as you want to get it done. You're going to keep more equity than if you had sold through a realtor. Oftentimes, you can keep 100% of the equity in the home. We also provide you 3 options instead of 1. You are in complete control to determine which one of these works best for you. We'll still handle all the paperwork and all the details exactly the same way. So the next step is to jump onto our website at canyonhomebuyers.com, complete your seller information form. There you're just going to tell us the basic information about the home. Most of it we will be able to look up on our own, but you'll provide a lot of the details there about the quality and the rehab needs if possible, maybe some history on how long you've owned the home, things along those lines. We'll give you a call, we'll talk through those details, and we'll set up a time to stop by you and meet you in your home. We'll lay out those 3 different offers I just talked about right there based upon the value of your home. We're not going to lie to you about what your home is worth. We will come in and show you comparable sales in your neighborhood so you can see exactly what it's worth. We're not trying to lie to you. We're not trying to hide anything. We are realtors as well, and we have access to this exact same comps that a realtor would have if they sat down at a listing appointment with you to try and list your home. They have to show you what the house will sell for. We do exactly the same thing. Once we decide which one you want, option 1, 2, or 3, we'll schedule the closing date and the move-out date, and then you sit back and relax from there. As I mentioned several times, this has to be a win-win transaction for both of us. So, as I said, Canyon Home Buyers, we are unique. There's nobody here in the Phoenix area that functions the same way as us. There's nobody in the Phoenix area that can offer you as high of an equity position as we can offer you, and as high of a purchase price as we can offer you. We will take care of all the details. We'll make it as easy as possible. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us today, and we hope to hear from you soon.